You feel it, the moment before action, the quiet space where everything could go either way. Most people live on impulse, pulled by noise, pushed by fear, reacting to whatever comes next. But you are here because that way of living no longer fits you. Something inside you wants control, not control over others, control over yourself. You are tired of being moved by circumstances, tired of giving power to moments you did not choose. Listen closely. There is another way to live, a way where you pause, decide, and move with intention. This is not about becoming someone new overnight. It is about remembering the strength you already carry. Calm focus replaces chaos. Direction replaces drift. Now, a line is being drawn. Behind you is reaction. Ahead of you is command. You are stepping into leadership over your thoughts, your actions, your life. This is the moment everything changes. Chapter 1. The cost of reaction. You live inside moments. Small ones, ordinary ones. Moments where something happens and you respond. A word is spoken, a message appears, a delay interrupts your plan. And before you realize it, you move. You answer. You react. This is how most lives are shaped, not by great decisions, but by unconscious responses repeated every day. There is nothing weak about you for living this way. It is human. Reaction feels natural because it is fast. It feels safe because it avoids effort. Yet over time, reaction carries a cost, quietly, consistently. Every time you react without awareness, you give a piece of control away. You do not lose it all at once. You lose it slowly, choice by choice, moment by moment. You may not notice it at first. Life still moves. Tasks get done. Days pass, but inside, something tightens. You feel rushed even when nothing urgent is happening. You feel busy but not fulfilled. You feel occupied but not directed. This is the hidden price of reaction. It does not announce itself. It accumulates. Picture your life as open ground. Every decision you make is a step forward or backward. Reaction causes hesitation. Hesitation costs ground. Not dramatically, just enough that you're always catching up, always adjusting, always responding to what already happened instead of shaping what comes next. Over time, this creates frustration, not loud frustration, quiet frustration, the kind that follows you into silence. You have felt it. That sense that you are capable of more than you are expressing. That feeling that you are moving but not advancing. This is not because you lack ability. It is because awareness has not yet taken the lead. Reaction thrives on distraction. When attention is scattered, reaction becomes automatic. You scroll without thinking. You speak without choosing your words. You agree without checking your direction. Distraction fragments power. Awareness gathers it. This is where the conflict begins, not with the world, with your old self, the version of you that reacts quickly to stay comfortable, the version of you that avoids pause because pause feels unfamiliar. That self is not your enemy. It protected you once, but it cannot lead you forward now. Awareness changes the equation. Awareness slows the moment just enough for choice to appear. It gives you a fraction of space, and inside that space, control is born. Pause, observe. When you pause, you interrupt the automatic pattern. You see the trigger instead of becoming it. You notice the emotion without letting it drive. This does not weaken you. It strengthens you. Awareness does not remove feeling. It places you above it. You are not powerless. Power is not loud. It is not aggressive. Power begins as clarity, the ability to see what is happening before you move, the ability to name what you feel without being consumed by it, the ability to recognize when a reaction would move you backward instead of forward. This awareness creates tension, a good tension, the tension between who you have been and who you are becoming. You will feel it when you pause instead of reacting. Your old habits will urge speed. They will whisper that stopping is unnecessary, that thinking takes too long. But this is where growth begins. In the moment you resist the urge to react, life does not reward speed without direction. It rewards alignment. Awareness aligns you with intention. Without it, effort scatters. With it, effort concentrates. Think of a battlefield where every second matters. Charging blindly wastes strength. Observing the terrain saves lives. Awareness is not delay. It is strategy. It allows you to move once, not twice. To act cleanly instead of correcting constantly. As awareness grows, something subtle shifts. You begin to feel less pushed by circumstances. You notice options where before there were only impulses. You begin to experience calm, even under pressure. This calm is not passive. It is controlled readiness. Awareness begins command. You do not need to change everything today. You only need to notice. Notice your breath before you speak. Notice your thoughts before you act. Notice your impulse before you obey it. This noticing is the first act of leadership over yourself. Say it quietly but clearly. I am ready. Ready to pause, ready to see, ready to choose. This readiness marks the end of unconscious reaction and the beginning of intentional living. You are not fixing yourself. You are reclaiming direction. And as awareness deepens, you will feel the ground beneath you stabilize. The noise will lose its grip, the rush will soften. A new question will rise inside you, steady and demanding. If I can choose this moment, what else can I command? Do not answer yet. Let the question stay with you. Let it build. The next step is closer than you think. Chapter 2. The space between trigger and power. There is a moment so small most people never notice it. A fraction of time, a breath, a pause that exists between what happens to you and what you do next. This space is quiet, invisible, yet it holds enormous power. Your entire future can shift inside this narrow gap. Not because the moment is dramatic, but because it is decisive. Something happens, a challenge appears, a voice rises, a delay frustrates you. The trigger arrives instantly, but your response does not have to. That pause in between is not emptiness. It is capacity. It is where leadership is born. Most people never enter this space. They move too quickly. They confuse speed with strength. Reaction feels efficient, immediate, clean, yet reaction is borrowed energy. It belongs to the trigger, not to you. When you react, you surrender authorship of the moment. When you pause, you reclaim it. This pause may feel uncomfortable at first. Silence often does. Silence removes distraction. It forces awareness inward. That is why so many avoid it. Silence reveals truth, and truth demands responsibility. Wait, this is not hesitation. This is command preparing itself. Waiting is not weakness. Waiting is not weakness. Waiting is discipline in motion. It is choosing not to be pulled, choosing not to spill energy unnecessarily, choosing precision over impulse. In this space, emotion rises, urgency presses. Your old habits lean forward, ready to act. They want resolution now. They want relief, but relief gained too early costs power later. Delayed gratification is not denial. It is investment. You delay the reaction to gain authority. Hold the line. Holding the line means you do not collapse inward when pressure appears. You do not explode outward either. You remain steady, present, observing the moment without surrendering to it. This restraint builds something inside you, a sense of self-trust, a quiet confidence that does not need proof. You begin to notice that not every thought deserves action. Not every emotion requires expression. Not every trigger needs a response. This realization changes how you move through the world. You become selective, intentional, calm under pressure. Power grows in stillness. Stillness sharpens perception. In stillness, you hear what urgency hides. You see what noise obscures. Stillness gives you access to deeper intelligence. The intelligence that chooses timing, the intelligence that understands consequence, the intelligence that leads instead of reacts. At first, this stillness may feel like restraint, but soon it feels like freedom. You are no longer chasing outcomes, you are shaping them. You are no longer pushed forward by emotion, you are guided by clarity. This is where identity begins to shift. You stop seeing yourself as someone who must respond quickly to survive. You begin to see yourself as someone who decides deliberately to lead. This is subtle but powerful. Identity is not built through grand statements. It is built through repeated behavior in small moments. Each time you pause, you reinforce a new self-image, a leader, a person in control, a person who does not rush to prove anything. You feel it in your body. The breath slows, the mind clears, the posture stabilizes. The world may still move fast around you. That does not mean you have to. Speed without direction scatters energy. Direction without rush concentrates it. There will be moments when waiting feels risky, when acting immediately seems necessary. But even then, awareness remains. The pause does not always mean delay. Sometimes it means choosing swiftly with clarity instead of reflex. The pause gives you choice. Choice gives you power. You start to sense the difference. Reaction feels tight. Command feels grounded. Reaction leaves residue. Command leaves alignment. Imagine responding with precision, not rushed, not hesitant, precise. Each word measured. Each action intentional. Imagine how differently people experience you when you move this way. Calm authority has weight. Silence speaks. Restraint commands respect. You begin to notice another shift. Triggers lose their grip. What once unsettled you now barely registers. Not because you feel less, but because you lead more. You are no longer dragged into moments. You step into them. This is the quiet advantage. While others exhaust themselves reacting, you conserve strength. While others speak too soon, you listen. While others rush forward, you choose the right direction. Stillness is not passive. It is active containment. It holds energy until the moment is right, like a drawn bow, like a held breath before movement. The power is already there. It is waiting for alignment. You feel pressure. You stay. You feel urgency. You pause. You feel emotion. You acknowledge it without obeying it. This is discipline taking root. This is leadership beginning internally. Over time, this pause becomes familiar, comfortable. You no longer fear silence. You trust it. You no longer fear waiting. You use it. The space between trigger and response expands, and with it, your sense of control. You are not slowing down your life. You are sharpening it. You are not losing opportunities. You are choosing better ones. Every pause refines you. Every moment of restraint strengthens your command. Soon, this way of being becomes natural. You do not announce it. You do not explain it. Others feel it. They sense your steadiness. They notice your timing. They respond differently to you because you respond differently to life. And this is just the beginning. As we learn to hold the pause, something deeper awakens. Control is no longer effort. It becomes posture, presence, a quiet readiness that follows you everywhere. You realize something profound. Power was never missing. It was waiting in the space you were too busy to enter. Now you are entering it. Stay here. Breathe. Feel the stillness settle. Let it strengthen you. The next step will require this calm. What comes next demands more than reaction. It demands command. Chapter 3. Discipline is self-respect. Discipline has been misunderstood for too long. Many see it as limitation, as pressure, as something imposed from the outside. But discipline, in its truest form, is not restriction. It is alignment. It is the moment you decide to stand with your future instead of negotiating with your comfort. You are not here to punish yourself. You are here to lead yourself. Every day, you are choosing. Even when you think you are not. You choose what you tolerate. You choose what you repeat. You choose what you delay. These choices quietly shape who you become. Discipline is the act of choosing on purpose. It is loyalty to the person you are building, not obedience to rules. There will always be two versions of you present. One wants ease, the other wants growth. One seeks relief now, the other seeks strength later. Discipline is how you declare which voice leads. Decide. Decision is not loud. It does not need motivation. It does not wait for perfect conditions. Decision is a line drawn in your mind. Once drawn, it simplifies everything that follows. You no longer debate every action. You move according to alignment, not emotion. This is where structure enters your life. not as confinement, but as clarity. Structure removes friction. It reduces wasted energy. It protects your focus from constant negotiation. When your day has intention, your mind gains space. Routine is not boring. Routine is stabilizing. It creates rhythm, and rhythm builds momentum. You begin to trust yourself when you see yourself show up consistently. That trust is priceless. It cannot be purchased. It is earned through repetition. Show up. Showing up does not mean perfection. It means presence. It means you arrive even when motivation is quiet. Especially when motivation is quiet, discipline carries you when excitement fades. It is the bridge between intention and result. Think of steel being forged, heat, pressure, repetition. The process is uncomfortable, but the outcome is strength. Discipline works the same way. Each act of follow-through tempers you. Each completed promise hardens your integrity. You are not breaking under pressure. You are being shaped by it. Discipline equals freedom, not immediately, but inevitably. Without discipline, choices multiply until they overwhelm. With discipline, choices narrow into focus. Freedom is not having endless options. Freedom is having direction. When you discipline your actions, you liberate your mind. There will be moments when discipline feels heavy, when your old self whispers that you have done enough, that you can pause, that skipping once will not matter. These moments are tests, not of ability, but of identity. Do it again. Repetition is where discipline becomes identity. The first time is effort. The second time is intention. The third time is habit. Over time, discipline stops feeling like force and starts feeling like who you are. This is how self-respect grows, not through words, through behavior. You respect yourself when you keep your commitments, especially the private ones, the ones no one sees, the ones that build your inner standard. When you live without discipline, trust erodes. You hesitate to rely on yourself. You second-guess your capacity. When you live with discipline, trust strengthens. You know you will act when it matters. You know you will not abandon yourself under pressure. This trust changes how you move. You stop over-promising. You stop over-explaining. You act quietly, consistently. Others may not notice immediately, but you do, and that is enough. Discipline also teaches patience. Results do not arrive instantly. They accumulate, slowly, invisibly, until one day they are undeniable. Discipline trains you to value progress over praise, direction over applause. There is relief in this. When you commit to discipline, you release the need to feel ready. You no longer wait for confidence. Confidence grows because you move. Action leads because you move. Action leads. Emotion follows. You will feel resistance. That is normal. Resistance does not mean you are doing something wrong. It means you are leaving familiar ground. Growth always demands discomfort before it delivers strength. Stay with it. Each disciplined action is a vote for your future self. Each skipped action is a vote for stagnation. You do not need to win every vote. You need to win consistently. Over time, consistency compounds. Discipline also simplifies identity. You stop asking, "Who am I today?" You already know. You are the person who shows up, the person who follows through, the person who honors commitments. This clarity brings calm. Decision fatigue fades. Doubt loosens its grip. You stop negotiating with yourself because you trust yourself. You become stable under pressure because your foundation is stable. Discipline does not isolate you from life. It grounds you within it. It allows you to engage fully without being pulled apart. You choose when to rest. You choose when to push. Both are intentional. There will be days when discipline feels invisible, when no reward appears, when effort seems unnoticed. These are the days that matter most, because discipline is proven when no one is watching, including you. Keep going. You are not building a moment. You are building a standard. Standards do not fluctuate with mood. They remain. They guide behavior automatically. When discipline becomes standard, excellence becomes normal. Feel the shift happening. The way you speak to yourself changes. The way you carry yourself changes. You are no longer chasing motivation. You are operating from alignment. Say it now, clearly, without hesitation. I decide who I become. This decision is not dramatic. It is durable. It will carry you forward when excitement fades and challenges rise. Discipline will steady you. Structure will support you. Commitment will anchor you. You are forging something strong, layer by layer, choice by choice. The pressure you feel is not a signal to stop. It is a sign that the process is working. Soon, discipline will feel natural, not because it is easy, but because it is yours. You will no longer ask if you should act. You will no longer ask if you should act. You will know, and you will move. And as this alignment settles into your life, you will notice something powerful. Your actions begin to command respect from others, from circumstances, from yourself. This is not the end of effort. It is the beginning of authority. Hold this standard, carry it forward. What comes next will demand it. Chapter 4. Emotional command. Emotion is not your enemy. It never was. Emotion is information. It is energy. It is a signal moving through you, asking to be understood. The problem has never been feeling. The problem has been surrender. Too many people hand the steering wheel of their life to whatever emotion arrives first. You are here to learn a different way. You are allowed to feel deeply. You are not required to lose control. Every emotion has momentum. Anger pushes, fear pulls back, excitement rushes forward. Doubt slows everything down. When emotions lead without awareness, behavior becomes reactive. When awareness leads emotion, behavior becomes deliberate. This is emotional command. Most people are trained to either explode or suppress, to express everything or deny everything. Neither creates leadership. Suppression builds pressure. Explosion scatters power. Command integrates feeling with direction. Feel it. Feeling does not mean obeying. Feeling does not mean obeying. Feeling means allowing the emotion to exist without judgment, without panic, without rushing to escape it. When you feel an emotion fully, it loses its need to control you. Resistance strengthens emotion. Acceptance disarms it. Pause when emotion rises. Notice where it sits in your body. Notice its temperature, its movement, its intensity. This awareness slows the surge. It creates space between sensation and action. In that space, leadership appears. Your old emotional habits will resist this. They are fast, automatic. They believe survival depends on immediate reaction. But you are no longer surviving. You are no longer surviving. You are leading. Name it. Naming emotion gives it boundaries. When something is unnamed, it feels endless. When it is named, it becomes manageable. You move from being inside the emotion to observing it. This shift is powerful. Observation restores authority. Say it clearly. This is frustration. This is fear. This is excitement. This is disappointment. This is excitement. Naming removes mystery. Mystery amplifies emotion. Clarity calms it. You are not weak for feeling strongly. You are untrained if feeling controls you. Training begins with awareness. Awareness leads to mastery. Emotional intelligence is leadership in motion. Leaders do not lack emotion. They lack surrender. They understand timing. They understand expression. They understand restraint. When emotion rises, the urge to act feels urgent. That urgency is deceptive. It suggests that action must happen now, or opportunity will be lost. In truth, clarity sharpens opportunity. Acting from emotion often creates more work later. Acting from command creates alignment. Lead it. Leading emotion means choosing behavior independent of intensity. You allow the feeling to exist while selecting the response that serves your direction. This is not coldness. This is maturity. It is strength refined. There will be moments when emotion demands expression. Expression can be healthy, but expression without awareness becomes damage. Command ensures expression is intentional, not impulsive. Your old self may say, "This is just who I am," emotional, reactive, intense. But identity is not defined by habit. It is defined by choice. You are not erasing your emotional depth. You are channeling it. Imagine emotion as a powerful current. Left unmanaged, it pulls you off course. Directed properly, it moves you forward faster. Emotion contains energy. Command decides where that energy goes. This skill takes practice. You will not master it instantly. You will notice moments where emotion still leads. That is not failure. That is information. Each time you notice it, you strengthen awareness. Calm does not mean empty. Calm means centered. You can feel deeply and remain centered. You can experience intensity without losing direction. This is internal leadership. When you begin to lead your emotions, something shifts in your presence. You become steady under pressure. People feel it. They sense that you are not easily shaken. This steadiness creates trust. Trust creates influence. You stop reacting to provocation. You stop being pulled into unnecessary conflict. You choose which emotions deserve your energy. This choice protects your focus. There will be moments when emotions are loud, when disappointment hits hard, when anger flashes, when fear whispers urgency. These moments are tests, not of emotion, but of leadership. Return to the sequence. Feel it, name it, lead it. Feeling honors your humanity. Naming restores clarity. Leading asserts authority. Over time, emotions stop feeling overwhelming, not because they weaken, but because you strengthen. Your nervous system learns safety in stillness. Your mind learns patience. Your body learns regulation. You begin to trust yourself emotionally. You know you can feel without losing yourself. This trust changes everything. You no longer fear strong emotions. You use them. Anger becomes boundary. Fear becomes information. Excitement becomes fuel. Sadness becomes reflection. Each emotion finds its role instead of ruling the system. This is not about control through force. Force creates resistance. This is control through understanding. Understanding creates cooperation. Your internal system begins to work with you instead of against you. The relief here is subtle but profound. You are no longer at war with yourself. You stop apologizing for your feelings. You stop being embarrassed by intensity. You integrate it. Command brings compassion. You treat yourself with respect instead of judgment. You recognize emotional patterns without shame. Shame weakens awareness. Respect strengthens it. As you practice emotional command, reactions slow. Words become measured. Actions become deliberate. You respond instead of react. This distinction changes outcomes. You may notice silence growing in moments that once felt chaotic. That silence is not emptiness. It is leadership holding space. It is you choosing not to rush. This ability compounds. Each moment of command strengthens the next. Emotional mastery is built through repetition, not perfection. Stay with it. There will be times when leading emotion feels lonely. Others may expect reaction. They may be used to your old patterns. This is not your concern. You are not here to meet expectations rooted in your past. You are here to embody your future. As command settles, you experience a new kind of confidence. Quiet, grounded, unshakable. You no longer need to prove emotional strength. You demonstrate it through restraint. This is the beginning of internal authority. Authority over impulse, authority over expression, authority over direction. And as this authority grows, you will notice something important. External challenges lose their power to destabilize you. Pressure remains, but panic fades. Intensity remains, but confusion disappears. You are not suppressing emotion. You are leading it forward. Stay present. Stay aware. The next level of leadership builds on this foundation. Emotional command prepares you for greater responsibility, greater clarity, greater impact. Hold this skill. Practice it. Trust it. What you are becoming requires it. Chapter 5. Identity over mood. Motivation is unstable. It rises and falls. It responds to sleep, praise, weather, progress, resistance. Some days it is loud. Some days it disappears completely. If your life depends on motivation, your direction will always be uncertain. That is why this chapter matters. Because what sustains greatness is not how you feel, it is who you decide you are. Mood is temporary. Identity is durable. Most people wait to feel ready before they act. They wait for energy, for confidence, for the right emotional state. But waiting makes mood the leader. And mood was never meant to lead. Mood is feedback, not authority. When mood controls behavior, consistency collapses. Identity changes that. Identity does not ask how you feel today. Identity asks who you are, and then it acts in alignment with that answer. This is the shift that locks everything in. This is where discipline becomes natural, where emotional command becomes reliable, where leadership stabilizes. You already live by identity in many ways. You do not debate certain actions. You do not negotiate basic standards. You act because it is who you are. The goal is to extend that certainty into every area that matters. This is who you are now. Identity is built through repetition, through evidence, through behavior aligned with values. Each time you act in alignment, identity strengthens. Each time you act against it, identity weakens. This is not about perfection. It is about pattern. Mood will try to interrupt this process. Mood will say, rest today, delay today, decide tomorrow, but identity does not negotiate daily. Identity decides once and expresses repeatedly. You are no longer someone who tries when it feels good. You are someone who acts because it is aligned. This is not harsh, it is stabilizing. It removes the emotional roller coaster from your decisions. Picture your future self, not as an abstract idea, but as a presence standing ahead of you. This version of you is calm, grounded, consistent. They are not extraordinary because of talent. They are extraordinary because of reliability. They do what they said they would do, over and over. Future you is built now, not later, now. Every small action is a message sent forward. Every skipped commitment is also a message. Identity listens closely to what you do, not what you say. This realization brings responsibility, but it also brings relief, because you no longer need to feel inspired to move. You only need to be aligned, act accordingly. Acting accordingly means behavior matches identity even when emotion resists. It means you show up tired, focused, calm. It means you do not betray your standard for temporary comfort. This does not make you rigid, it makes you reliable. There will be days when mood is heavy, when doubt appears, when progress feels invisible. These days do not disappear when identity takes over, but their power changes. Mood becomes noise. Identity remains signal. You begin to anchor internally, not to praise, not to results, to standard. Internal anchoring is quiet strength. It does not need applause. It does not require explanation. It simply holds. You stop asking, do I feel like it? You start asking, does this align with who I am? That single question changes behavior immediately. This identity must be reinforced deliberately, through language, through repetition, through conscious declaration. You speak identity until it becomes familiar, until it replaces hesitation. This is who you are now. Say it internally when resistance appears. Say it when mood fluctuates. Say it when node fluctuates. Say it when doubt whispers. Identity responds to clarity. You are not becoming someone else. You are becoming more consistent with your values. That consistency builds confidence faster than motivation ever could. Think about leaders you respect, not because they are loud, but because they are steady. Predictable in the best way. You know how they will act under pressure. That predictability comes from identity, not mood. Identity removes drama from decision-making. Drama consumes energy. Identity conserves it. As you live this way, something changes in your nervous system. Uncertainty decreases. Anxiety softens because you trust yourself. Trust comes from repeated alignment. When you say you will act, and then you act, trust grows. When trust grows, doubt weakens. When doubt weakens, movement becomes smoother. This creates momentum without force. There will be moments when identity feels heavy, when commitment feels demanding. That heaviness is not a sign to stop. It is a sign you are carrying something meaningful. Identity requires maintenance. You reinforce it through behavior, through self-talk, through boundaries. Boundaries protect identity. Without boundaries, identity dissolves under pressure. You may need to say no more often, not dramatically, quietly, consistently. No to distractions, no to habits that pull you backward, no to moods that demand control. This is not deprivation, it is protection. As identity strengthens, motivation becomes a bonus, not a requirement. When motivation appears, it accelerates you. When it disappears, you continue anyway. This is freedom. You are no longer dependent on external conditions to move. You are internally powered. That power is stable, reliable, durable. Imagine living this way for years, not days, years. Imagine the compound effect of identity-driven action. Results would be inevitable, not because you pushed harder, but because you stayed aligned longer. This is why identity outlasts motivation. Motivation is emotional energy. Identity is structural energy. One fluctuates, the other holds. You begin to feel grounded even when things are uncertain. Because uncertainty does not change who you are, you adapt without losing direction. You will notice that others respond differently to you, not because you demand it, because you demand it. Because identity communicates through behavior. Calm consistency signals leadership. This is not about domination. It is about self-command. And self-command radiates outward naturally. Say the affirmation slowly. Let it settle. I rise. Rising does not mean constant upward motion. It means elevation of standard. It means you do not sink back into old patterns when mood dips. Rising means you'll recover faster, decide quicker, realign sooner. There will be moments when you slip. Everyone does. Identity is not destroyed by a slip. It is strengthened by correction. The speed of correction matters more than the absence of error. Return to identity. Act accordingly. Do not dramatize. Do not punish. Realign. This calm correction builds resilience. You stop spiraling. You stabilize. Identity also clarifying. You stabilize. Identity also clarifies goals. You stop chasing outcomes that do not fit. You choose paths that align with who you are becoming. This reduces friction. Your life begins to feel simpler, not easier. Simpler. Fewer internal debates, fewer reversals, less regret. This is the relief identity brings. You are no longer split between intention and action. They move together. You may feel a quiet pride emerge, not arrogance. Pride rooted in integrity, in knowing you are living in alignment. This pride does not need to be shown. It supports you internally. Identity must be protected during pressure. Pressure reveals whether identity is strong or borrowed. When stress hits, do you revert to old habits or maintain alignment? Each pressure test strengthens identity if you stay present. This is who you are now. Say it again when needed. Identity grows through repetition. As this chapter closes, you may feel something solidifying inside you, a sense of permanence, of grounding. That is intentional. Identity is anchoring. The next stage will challenge this identity. It will test whether it holds under greater responsibility, under longer timelines, under increased demand. Do not rush ahead. Stay here for a moment. Feel the stability. Feel the quiet strength. This is the foundation you will carry forward. You are no longer driven by mood. You are guided by identity. And that changes everything. Hold this. What comes next will require it. Chapter 6. Silence builds authority. Silence is misunderstood. Many think silence means absence, weakness, avoidance. But silence is not empty. Silence is loaded. It is preparation in progress. It is strength collecting itself before movement. Those who rush to speak often rush to reveal uncertainty. Those who choose silence are usually building something beneath the surface. Authority does not announce itself. It accumulates. In a loud world, silence becomes an advantage. Noise scatters attention. Silence gathers it. When you stop reacting verbally to everything, when you stop explaining yourself, When you stop seeking immediate acknowledgement, something powerful happens. Your energy returns to you. Focus sharpens. Direction stabilizes. Say less. Saying less does not mean you have nothing to say. It means your words are no longer wasted. Words carry weight when they are rare. Silence forces clarity. It removes unnecessary commitments. It protects intention. Many people speak to be seen, to be validated, to feel important in the moment. But authority grows when you stop borrowing significance from external reaction. When you do not need immediate recognition, your actions gain patience. Patience builds depth. Silence is where plans mature, where skills refine, where discipline compounds. It is uncomfortable at first because silence removes distraction. It leaves you alone with your thoughts, your standards, your direction. That discomfort is productive. It reveals what matters. Focus more. Focus is fragile. Every unnecessary conversation drains it. Every explanation weakens it. When you choose silence, you protect focus. You choose to invest attention where it compounds instead of where it leaks. Focus without validation is one of the highest forms of self-leadership. It means you do not require applause to continue. You do not need agreement to proceed. You do not stop to check if others approve. You trust your direction enough to move quietly. This kind of focus builds long-term strength, not visible strength, internal strength. The kind that does not fluctuate with opinion. The kind that does not fluctuate with opinion. The kind that holds under pressure. Silence also teaches timing. Not everything needs to be shared immediately. Not every plan benefits from exposure. Secrecy is not deception, it is protection. Early disclosure invites interference. Silence allows ideas to harden. Think of a seed underground. It grows unseen. It does not announce itself while fragile. It waits until roots are strong. Authority grows the same way. It is internal before it is external. Move with purpose. Purposeful movement is economical. No wasted steps, no scattered effort. When you move with purpose, you conserve energy. Silence helps this by removing noise from decision-making. You act when alignment is clear. You wait when it is not. This restraint creates calm. Calm is contagious. Others feel it. They sense that you are not rushed, that you are not seeking approval, that you are anchored. Authority is felt more than it is heard. Your old habits may resist silence. They may push you to speak quickly, to defend yourself, to explain. These habits come from a need to be understood immediately. Leadership does not require immediate understanding. It requires consistency. Silence trains. Restraint builds trust. Trust builds influence. When you stop filling space with words, you create space for observation. You see patterns others miss. You notice shifts in energy. You understand situations more clearly because you are not busy performing. This observation strengthens judgment. Judgment strengthens decisions. Decisions shape outcomes. Silence also protects emotional command. When you speak less, emotions have less opportunity to leak. You are not suppressing emotion. You are containing it. Containment preserves energy. There will be moments when silence feels like vulnerability, when not speaking feels risky. But silence is not absence of action. It is strategic positioning. Consider how often explanation weakens authority. When you over-explain, you signal uncertainty. When you stay concise, you signal clarity. Silence allows clarity to stand without justification. Say less. This does not mean disengage. It means engage selectively. When you do speak, speak from alignment, from intention, from calm authority. Let words land cleanly. Silence also strengthens patience. Patience extends timelines. Extended timelines allow mastery. Mastery builds authority. The short-term recognition feels good. Long-term strength changes lives. Focus more. Focus means depth over breadth. It means choosing fewer priorities and committing fully. Silence supports this by reducing distraction. When you are not broadcasting, you are building. You may notice others moving faster, talking more, showing more. Let them. Speed without structure collapses eventually. Silence allows structure to solidify. This does not make you invisible. It makes you undeniable when the time comes. Authority grows quietly. It does not seek attention. Attention finds it later. There is relief in this approach. You no longer feel pressure to respond immediately. You no longer feel compelled to prove progress. You work, you build, you refine. Silence also strengthens self-trust. You learn to rely on your own assessment instead of constant feedback. This internal validation stabilizes confidence. When feedback comes later, it confirms rather than defines you. Long-term strength requires long-term focus. Long-term focus requires boundaries. Silence is a boundary. It separates what matters from what distracts. You begin to experience stillness as strength, not emptiness. Strength, the strength to wait, the strength to listen, the strength to act deliberately. Move with purpose. Purposeful movement is calm. It is efficient. It is aligned. Silence makes this possible by clearing noise. There will be times when others misunderstand your quiet. They may project assumptions. Let them. Your responsibility is not to manage perception. It is to maintain alignment. Over time, results speak. Results do not need explanation. Silence also sharpens listening. When you speak less, you hear more. You gather information without revealing intention. This is strategic. Information increases leverage. Listening does not make you passive, it makes you informed. Authority thrives on information and restraint. As you practice silence, you will feel a subtle shift in how you carry yourself. Less urgency, less need to react, more steadiness, more presence. This presence is powerful. People feel seen when you listen. They feel respect. Respect builds influence without force. Silence does not mean isolation. It means intentional engagement. You choose when and how to connect. You are not withdrawing from the world. You are refining your interaction with it. Silence builds patience. Patience builds resilience. Resilience builds authority. Each layer supports the next. Say less, focus more, move with purpose. Repeat this internally when pressure rises, when distraction calls, when explanation tempts. Silence is not the absence of competence. It is confidence that does not need to speak. As authority grows internally, you may notice external shifts. People consult you more. They listen when you speak. They sense your steadiness. This is not accidental, it is earned. Quiet, focus multiplies strength. You are building something that does not need constant reinforcement. Something stable, something grounded. Hold this silence, protect it. It is working even when nothing seems to be happening. The next stage will test this restraint. It will introduce pressure that demands response. How you respond will define leadership. Stay ready, stay quiet, stay aligned. The ground is forming beneath you, and soon you will move again. Chapter 7. Pressure creates leaders. Pressure arrives without permission. It does not ask if you are ready. It does not care about timing. It shows up when standards rise, when responsibility increases, when comfort is no longer enough to carry you forward. Most people try to escape it. They label it as a problem, a threat, something to avoid. But pressure is not punishment. Pressure is proof that you are standing at the edge of expansion. Pressure reveals capability. When life becomes heavy, it is not asking you to retreat. It is asking you to discreet. It is asking you to discover what you can carry. Pressure exposes what is already inside you. It strips away illusion. It removes performance. It demands presence. You may feel tension in your body when pressure increases. Tightness, urgency, resistance. This response is natural. It is your system preparing for demand. The mistake is interpreting pressure as danger instead of training. Pressure does not break leaders, it builds them. Think about the moments that changed you, not the easy ones, not the comfortable ones, the moments that forced you to focus, to choose, to endure. Those moments carved strength into you. Pressure was the tool. This chapter asked you to stop running from resistance and start using it. Resistance refines. It sharpens decision-making. It strengthens discipline. It reveals character. When pressure arrives, you have a choice. You can collapse inward, or you can expand into it. Stay. Staying does not mean forcing. It means remaining present, not numbing, not distracting, not abandoning yourself when difficulty appears. Staying is the first act of leadership under pressure. Most people leave themselves when things get hard. They disconnect, they complain, they retreat mentally even if they remain physically. Leaders stay engaged, they remain aware, they keep breathing, they keep observing. Pressure narrows attention. This is a gift. It removes excess. It strips life down to what matters. Under pressure, priorities become clear. Noise fades, essentials remain. Holding is restraint in motion. It is the ability to remain steady while force presses against you. Pressure tests emotional command. It tests discipline. It tests identity. It asks, will you revert to old habits or will you rise to your standard? Holding does not mean resisting the experience. It means allowing it without surrendering direction. You acknowledge discomfort without letting it dictate behavior. Pressure often triggers urgency. Urgency demands quick relief. Relief can come through shortcuts, excuses, or escape. Leaders resist false relief. They tolerate discomfort long enough for growth to occur. Pressure stretches capacity. Capacity only grows when stretched. You are not meant to feel comfortable here. You are meant to become capable. There is a moment in pressure where doubt whispers. It asks if you are enough, if you can sustain this, if you should slow down. This whisper is not a warning. It is an invitation to deepen self-trust. You have survived every pressure moment that brought you here, not by accident, by adaptation, by learning, by endurance. This pressure is no different. It is simply asking more of you because you are ready for more. You are becoming. Becoming is not instant. It happens through sustained exposure. Pressure creates repetition. Repetition creates strength. Strength creates leadership. This is the first transformation peak. Intensity rises here, not to overwhelm you, to awaken you. Stay, hold, you are becoming. Feel the words land, let them anchor you. Pressure clarifies commitment. When things are easy, commitment is theoretical. Under pressure, commitment becomes visible. You see what you stand for by what you refuse to abandon. Pressure also reveals habits. Weak habits surface quickly, strong habits hold. This is not a reason for judgment, it is information. Pressure shows you what needs reinforcement. Use this information. When pressure mounts, simplify. Reduce movement. Focus on fundamentals. Return to what you know works. Complexity increases error. Simplicity stabilizes performance. Leaders under pressure do not do more. They do what matters. Your breath becomes important here. Slow it. Ground yourself. Pressure feeds on shallow attention. Deep focus weakens it. Notice how pressure sharpens your awareness. You are more alert, more present, more precise. This is your nervous system stepping up. Let it. There is strength in staying present with difficulty. It builds confidence rooted in experience, not optimism. Pressure does not ask you to be perfect. It asks you to be steady. Hold. Steadiness is underrated. It is not flashy. It does not announce itself, but it outlasts intensity. Steadiness keeps you moving when excitement fades. Pressure also tests patience. Results may not appear immediately. Effort may feel unrewarded. This is where leaders separate from performers. Performers need feedback. Leaders trust process. Trust grows under pressure. Pressure exposes ego. Ego wants comfort. Ego wants recognition. Ego wants immediate validation. Leadership wants progress. Leadership wants alignment. Leadership wants durability. Let ego burn away here. Pressure does that naturally if you allow it. You may feel alone during pressure. Others may not understand your focus, your restraint, your seriousness. This is normal. Pressure often isolates. Isolation strengthens self-reliance. You do not need to explain what you are carrying. Carry it. Pressure also strengthens boundaries. Under load, weak boundaries collapse. Strong boundaries hold. This teaches you what you must protect. Time, energy, focus. Protection is not avoidance. It is preservation. As pressure continues, something shifts. What once felt heavy begins to feel familiar. Not easy. Familiarity. Familiarity breeds confidence. Confidence reduces panic. This is adaptation. Pressure accelerates learning. Mistakes become clearer. Feedback becomes immediate. Attention increases. This is why pressure is such an effective teacher. You learn faster here. Stay. Hold. You are becoming. Say it internally when tension spikes. Let it steady you. Pressure also reveals leadership style. Do you rush? Do you freeze? Do you withdraw? Awareness here allows adjustment. Leadership is not fixed. It evolves. Pressure invites refinement. Do not rush to escape pressure. Ask what it is shaping. Ask what it is revealing. Ask what it is revealing. Ask what strength it is demanding. Pressure never lies. There will be moments when pressure feels unfair, when effort exceeds reward, when responsibility feels heavy. These moments test resilience. Resilience is not optimism. It is endurance with clarity. Resilience grows under sustained pressure. This is where many quit, not because they cannot continue, but because they misinterpret pressure as failure. Pressure is not failure. It is filtration. It filters out what does not align. If you remain, you pass through. Leadership is not born in comfort. It is forged here, in tension, in repetition, in responsibility. Pressure also builds credibility. When you hold under load, others notice, not immediately, over time. Consistency under pressure earns trust. Trust expands influence. Influence increases responsibility. Responsibility brings more pressure. This cycle continues. Do not fear it. Welcome it. Pressure refines language. You speak less. You listen more. You act with precision. Waste disappears. Pressure refines emotion. Drama fades. Focus sharpens. Emotional command strengthens. Pressure refines identity. You stop asking who you might become. You start living who you are. You are becoming. Feel that becoming happening now. In your posture, in your breath, in your focus. This is the peak. Intensity rises. Stay. Hold. You are becoming. Let the repetition sink in. Pressure cannot define you unless you let it. You define yourself by how you meet it. Meet it with presence. Meet it with restraint. Meet it with alignment. As this chapter closes, notice how pressure feels different now, still present, still demanding, but no longer threatening. It has shifted roles, from enemy to instructor. Carry this understanding forward. Pressure will not leave your life, but your relationship to it has changed. You do not run. You do not collapse. You remain, and because you remain, you grow. What comes next will demand this strength. Pressure will increase again. That is not a warning. It is confirmation. You are ready for the next level. Stay ready. Hold steady. You are becoming. Chapter 8. From control to command. Control is exhausting. It tightens the body. It sharpens the jaw. It demands constant effort. When you try to control everything, you are always reacting slightly too late. Always adjusting. Always correcting. Control wrestles with life. Command moves with it. There is a difference, a deep one. Control is force. Command is alignment. When you control, you grip tightly. You push outcomes. You micromanage details. You try to bend reality toward your will through effort alone. Sometimes it works in the short term, often it drains you. Control consumes energy because it fights resistance directly. Command feels different. Command is calm, rounded, quietly decisive. Command does not wrestle, it steers. Imagine the difference between wrestling a heavy object across rough ground and guiding a vehicle with a steady hand on the wheel. Both move forward. One exhausts you, the other carries you. Leadership matures when you stop wrestling and start steering. You have already learned discipline. You have learned emotional command. You have learned silence. Pressure has tested you. Now those skills integrate. This is where leadership becomes natural, not forced, not strained, natural. Control asks, how do I make this happen? Command asks, where am I directing this? Direction matters more than force. Many people confuse intensity with effectiveness. They believe that if they try harder, push more, control tighter, they will win. Sometimes they do, briefly, but the cost accumulates. Fatigue builds, clarity fades, resentment grows. Command avoids this trap. Command chooses alignment over exertion. Alignment begins internally. When your values, identity, discipline, and focus point in the same direction, movement becomes efficient. You do not waste energy arguing with yourself. You do not sabotage progress with hesitation. You act cleanly. This is where confidence shifts. Confidence no longer comes from effort. It comes from clarity. Clarity reduces noise. Noise creates doubt. Doubt demands control. Remove noise, and control becomes unnecessary. Think about moments when you felt most effective, not frantic. Effective. You knew what mattered. You ignored what did not. You moved steadily. That was command in action. Command does not rush. It does not panic. It does not overcorrect. It trusts direction. This trust is earned. You earned it through the previous chapters, through discipline, through restraint, through pressure. Now you are ready to release the need to control every detail. Releasing control does not mean surrendering standards. It means choosing leverage. Steering requires awareness. You feel the terrain. You adjust subtly. You anticipate curbs. You do not fight the road. You work with it. Wrestling ignores terrain. It burns energy trying to overpower it. From this moment forward, notice where you are wrestling in your life. Where are you forcing outcomes instead of shaping direction? Where are you gripping instead of guiding? These are not failures, they are signals. Command begins by loosening unnecessary tension. You do not need to control people to lead them. You do not need to control circumstances to navigate them. You do not need to control every emotion to act wisely. You need alignment. Alignment creates authority without aggression. It allows leadership to flow through presence instead of pressure. When you are aligned, your decisions feel lighter, not because they are easy, but because they are clear. You stop second-guessing. You stop oscillating. You move. This movement feels calm, even when stakes are high. Calm is not indifference. Calm is confidence rooted in preparation. Control often masks fear. Fear of loss, fear of uncertainty, fear of being wrong. Command acknowledges uncertainty without being paralyzed by it. Uncertainty does not disappear when you lead. It becomes navigable. You will notice something important here. When you move from control to command, you stop trying to manage outcomes directly. You focus on inputs, on standards, on direction. Outcomes follow alignment naturally. This is not passive, it is precise. Command is not about doing less. It is about doing what matters. You stop responding to everything. You respond to what aligns. You stop engaging every conflict. You choose which ones serve direction. You stop proving yourself. You demonstrate consistency. This shift reduces internal friction. Internal friction wastes energy. Remove it and power concentrates. As power concentrates, presence strengthens. People feel this. They feel when someone is forcing. They feel when someone is aligned. Alignment creates trust. Trust invites cooperation. Command is magnetic. This is why leaders who command do not need to raise their voice. They do not need to threaten. They do not need to over-explain. Their clarity carries weight. You are stepping into this now. There will be moments when control tries to return, especially under stress. Old habits resurface when pressure spikes. That is when awareness matters most. When you feel the urge to clamp down, pause. Ask a different question. Not, how do I force this, but where do I steer this? This question changes posture immediately. Steering requires patience. It accepts that progress happens over time. It understands momentum. It respects process. Control demands immediate compliance. Command respects sequence. Sequence builds sustainability. Leadership that lasts is sustainable. Sustainable leadership does not burn itself out. It adapts. This is where inner alignment proves its value. When your internal system agrees, external direction becomes stable. Your mind knows the plan. Your emotions support it. Your discipline executes it. Your identity anchors it. Nothing is pulling against you internally. This is rare and powerful. Confidence through clarity feels different than confidence through dominance. It is quieter, but it is deeper. It does not depend on winning every moment. It depends on staying aligned. You begin to feel less reactive to obstacles. Obstacles become data, information. Feedback. Feedback refines steering. When something does not work, you adjust direction slightly. You do not panic. You do not overcorrect. You continue. This steadiness builds momentum. Momentum is not speed. Momentum is sustained movement. Control often kills momentum by exhausting the system. Command protects it. This is why command feels freeing. You are no longer fighting yourself. You are no longer fighting reality. You are guiding your path through it. Inner alignment also sharpens intuition. When noise fades, intuition becomes audible. You sense when to move, when to wait, when to pivot. This intuition is not mystical, it is pattern recognition built through experience and awareness. Command trusts this intuition without surrendering discipline. You still plan, you still prepare, you simply stop overmanaging. This balance is leadership. You may notice that others respond differently to you now. Less resistance, more openness. Not because you demand it, because your energy has changed. People resist force, they follow clarity. Command also reduces emotional drain. You stop taking things personally. You see situations structurally instead of emotionally. This distance protects energy. Protection of energy is not selfish, it is strategic. Without energy, leadership collapses. From control to command is a shift from tension to flow. Flow does not mean ease. It means alignment between effort and direction. You still work, you still commit, you simply stop leaking power. There will be moments when command feels almost invisible, when you are simply moving through your day with quiet certainty. That invisibility is strength. It means leadership has integrated. You are no longer performing leadership. You are embodying it. Say the affirmation internally, I lead myself. This is the core of command. Self-leadership precedes all other leadership. When you lead yourself, you do not need external enforcement. You do not need pressure. You do not need control. You act because it aligns. Self-leadership also creates resilience. When things change, you adjust direction without losing identity. Control resists change. Command adaptation keeps you moving forward. As this chapter deepens, notice where ease replaces struggle, where clarity replaces urgency, where confidence replaces force. These are signs of alignment. You are not letting go of responsibility. You are carrying it more efficiently. You are not lowering standards. You are enforcing them internally instead of externally. You are not becoming passive. You are becoming precise. This precision is calm. It does not rush. It does not doubt. Command also requires trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in process. Trust in timing. This trust is built through consistency, not hope. You have built consistency. Now you use it. As you move from control to command, leadership stops feeling heavy. It feels natural, like standing upright, like breathing deeply, like knowing where you are going even when the path curves. This is not the end of challenge. Challenges will continue, but your relationship to them has changed. You no longer wrestle, you steer. Hold this posture, feel it settle, let alignment replace tension, because what comes next will require leadership that influences others, not just yourself. And influence begins here, in command. Chapter 9. The leader within leadership does not begin when others notice you. It begins the moment you stop waiting. Waiting for approval, waiting for certainty, waiting for someone else to decide. Internal leadership is the quiet decision to move without permission, to act without being pushed, to stand without being told. This is where everything consolidates. Up to now you have built awareness, discipline, emotional command, silence, alignment. Pressure has shaped you, control has softened into command. Now these elements converge into something unmistakable, authority, not borrowed, not granted. generated from within. Leadership begins internally. Most people look outward for leadership cues. They watch others, they wait for direction, they hesitate until someone signals that it is safe to move. This habit trains dependency. Dependency weakens initiative. Initiative is the engine of leadership. You are no longer dependent. Internal leadership means you decide before circumstances force you. You move before permission appears. You choose standards and uphold them even when no one is watching. This shift is subtle but powerful. It changes posture. It changes tone. It changes how you experience responsibility. Responsibility no longer feels like burden. It feels like authorship. You decide. Decision is the heartbeat of leadership. Without decision, vision remains theoretical. With decision, vision remains theoretical. You do not need all information to decide. You need clarity of values. Values guide decision-making when data is incomplete. Leaders decide with intention, not impulse. They do not rush, but they do not stall. They understand that indecision is also a decision, usually one that hands control away. Internal leadership rejects drift. When you decide, you remove ambiguity from your system. Ambiguity creates anxiety. Anxiety demands reassurance. Reassurance delays action. Decision stabilizes everything downstream. You decide what matters today. You decide what does not. You decide where energy goes. You decide when to stop. You decide when to push. This decisiveness is not rigid, it is responsive. You remain open to information, but you do not surrender direction to noise. You move. Movement follows decision naturally. Leaders do not announce movement. They initiate it. Movement is evidence of internal authority. Moving does not mean rushing, it means progressing, one step, then another. Momentum builds through action, not intention. Many people plan endlessly. They consume information. They prepare emotionally. They wait for confidence. Leaders move while learning. They adjust as they go. Movement generates feedback. Feedback sharpens leadership. When you move, you learn quickly. When you hesitate, you imagine endlessly. Imagination without action breeds doubt. Action dissolves it. Movement also creates energy. Energy follows action, not the other way around. This is why waiting for motivation fails. Leadership moves first. Motivation follows. As you move, something changes in how others perceive you, not because you demand attention, because initiative signals authority. Others follow. This is not about dominance. It is about gravity. People are drawn to those who move with clarity, those who do not hesitate excessively, those who carry themselves with internal permission. Following does not always mean agreement. It means recognition of direction. Even resistance acknowledges leadership. You are not responsible for who follows. You are responsible for how you lead. Internal leadership also means owning outcomes. Success and failure alike. Ownership builds credibility. Excuses dissolve it. When things go well, you do not inflate ego. When things go wrong, you do not deflect blame. You assess, you adjust, you continue. This steadiness builds trust. Trust builds influence. Influence expands leadership. Leadership within also means setting standards. Standards are not rules you enforce on others. They are behaviors you refuse to violate yourself. Standards define boundaries. Boundaries protect focus. Focus sustains momentum. When standards are clear, decisions become simpler. You no longer negotiate with yourself. You no longer negotiate with yourself. You know what is acceptable. You know what is not. This clarity removes friction. Internal leadership also demands courage. Courage to act without applause. Courage to choose paths others do not understand. Courage to stand alone when necessary. Loneliness is sometimes the cost of leadership, but it is temporary. Alignment attracts alignment over time. This chapter reaches its transformation peak here. Feel the intensity rise. You decide, you move, others follow. Let the cadence settle, let it resonate. You decide, you move, others follow. This repetition is intentional. Leadership must be reinforced internally before it is recognized externally. You are stepping into a role that does not need validation. You validate yourself through action. There will be moments when doubt returns. Doubt is not eliminated by leadership, it is managed. Leaders act with doubt present. They do not wait for its disappearance. Doubt becomes quieter when action is consistent. Internal leadership also requires emotional regulation. Pressure increases as responsibility grows. You have learned to lead emotion. Now you apply that skill at scale. When emotions rise, you do not collapse. You do not lash out. You lead yourself first. Self-leadership precedes team leadership, always. You cannot guide others where you refuse to go internally. You cannot demand discipline you do not practice. You cannot ask for trust you do not model. This integrity is felt. It does not need explanation. Leadership within also means vision, not grand fantasy, clear direction, knowing where you are going and why. Vision stabilizes leadership. Without vision, leadership becomes reactive. With vision, leadership becomes proactive. You may not see the entire path. That is acceptable. Leaders see far enough to move the next step confidently. As you consolidate internal leadership, you will notice your language change. Less justification, more clarity, less emotional leakage, more presence. Your silence gains weight. Your words land cleaner. Your actions speak louder. This is authority forming. Authority is not control over others. It is confidence rooted in consistency. People respond to what is reliable. Internal leadership also reshapes time perception. You stop rushing. You stop procrastinating. You move deliberately. Urgency becomes strategic. Rest becomes intentional. Balance becomes structural. This balance prevents burnout. Burnout comes from misalignment, not effort. When effort aligns with identity, energy sustains. Leadership also requires adaptability. Conditions change. People change. Information changes. Internal leadership provides stability during change. You remain anchored while adjusting sails. This adaptability increases respect. Rigid leaders break under pressure. Flexible leaders endure. As this chapter peaks, feel the release. Emotional release follows command. When you decide, move, and lead internally, tension dissolves. Confusion fades, direction sharpens, relief arrives not because difficulty ends, but because authority begins. You no longer feel at the mercy of circumstances, you feel engaged with them. This relief is grounding. It allows breath to deepen. It allows shoulders to lower. It allows mind to focus. From this place, leadership expands naturally. You will face greater challenges ahead, greater responsibility, greater visibility. But you will not be unprepared. You have built the core. Internal leadership is the foundation everything else rests on. You may still make mistakes. Leaders do. But mistakes no longer define you. They inform you. You recover faster. You adjust sooner. You continue. Others notice this resilience. They see that you do not collapse under error. They trust you more because of it. Trust accelerates influence. Influence amplifies leadership. This cycle continues. You decide. You move. Others follow. Let the words echo again. You decide. You move. Others follow. This is not arrogance. It is responsibility accepted fully. As this chapter closes, feel the consolidation. Everything you have learned now lives together. Awareness guides you. Discipline sustains you. Emotion obeys you. Silence protects you. Pressure sharpens you. Alignment directs you. Leadership is no longer an idea, it is behavior. Hold this posture. Carry it forward. The next phase will challenge you to sustain leadership over time, to remain consistent when novelty fades, to live in command as a lifestyle. For now, stay here. Feel the authority settle. You are no longer waiting, you are leading. Chapter 10. Resilience is a choice. Resilience is not a personality trait. It is not something you are born with or without. Resilience is a decision made repeatedly, often quietly, often without witnesses. It is the choice to rebuild instead of retreat. to rise again instead of explaining why you fell. Strength is not something you either have or lose. Strength is something you rebuild daily. Every life that moves forward is interrupted. Plans fracture, momentum slows, effort sometimes collapses under weight. These moments are not evidence of weakness, they are invitations to resilience. What defines you is not the absence of difficulty, it is how you respond when difficulty arrives. Resilience begins with perspective. Failure is not identity, failure is information. It tells you where alignment slipped, where structure weakened, where recovery is required. When failure becomes identity, you shrink. When failure becomes information, you grow. Most people collapse emotionally when something goes wrong, not because the situation is unmanageable, but because they attach meaning too quickly. They label the moment as proof that they are not capable, proof that they were mistaken to try, proof that they were mistaken to try, proof that this path is not for them. That story is optional. Resilient people do not tell dramatic stories about temporary setbacks. They pause, they breathe, they assess, they rebuild, stand again. Standing again does not require confidence, it requires willingness. Willingness to return to alignment without self-punishment, without delay, without over-analysis. You do not need to feel strong to stand. You stand to become strong. The body understands this instinctively. When balance is lost, it adjusts. It does not collapse permanently. It corrects. Resilience is correction repeated over time. Recovery without collapse is the skill you are building here. Collapsing means withdrawing completely, giving up structure, abandoning standards, letting one moment define many. Recovery means acknowledging impact without surrendering direction. Recovery is calm, collapse is emotional. Resilience favors calm. When something breaks, the resilient response is not panic, it is repair. Panic wastes energy. Repair restores function. You have already learned discipline. Discipline supports resilience. Discipline provides the structure you return to after disruption. When structure exists, recovery is faster. When structure is absent, collapse feels inevitable. This is why resilience is built daily, not during crisis. Before it, daily habits create shock absorbers, routine cushions impact. Identity stabilizes response. When disruption arrives, you are not starting from nothing. You are returning to something familiar. Adjust. Adjustment is not admission of failure. It is evidence of intelligence. Only rigid systems break completely. Adaptive systems survive and strengthen. Adjustment asks a simple question. What needs to change now? Not everything, not your identity, not your direction, just the path that no longer fits. Resilience does not cling to outdated methods. It updates behavior while preserving values. Values remain constant. Tactics evolve. This flexibility prevents despair. Many people equate resilience with stubbornness. They believe resilience means never changing. That belief creates suffering. True resilience is responsive. It listens, it adapts, it recalibrates. When you adjust, you regain control. You shift from emotional reaction to strategic response. Strategy calms the system. Calm enables clarity. Clarity enables continuation. Continuation is the quiet victory of resilience. Not dramatic comeback, not loud declaration, just movement resumed. Continuing means you do not allow interruption to become abandonment. You do not let delay become defeat. You do not let fatigue become surrender. You continue at a pace that preserves alignment. Resilience respects limits. It does not demand constant intensity. It allows rest without quitting. It allows recovery without regression. This balance is crucial. Burnout is not caused by effort. It is caused by misalignment and lack of recovery. Resilience integrates recovery into progress. You rebuild strength by returning to basics. Sleep, breath, focus, routine. These fundamentals are not trivial, they are structural. When things go wrong, return to basics. Complexity collapses under stress. Simplicity stabilizes. This is emotional grounding. Grounding anchors you in the present. It prevents spiraling into imagined futures or replayed pasts. Grounding says, this is what is happening now, and this is what I can do next. Resilient people do not catastrophize, they localize, they address the moment instead of the story. This reduces emotional load. There will be days when resilience feels heavy, when rebuilding feels slow, when progress feels invisible. These days test patience more than strength. Patience is resilience extended over time. You are not required to enjoy rebuilding, you are required to do it. Satisfaction follows consistency, not the other way around. Repetition matters here. Each time you stand again, adjustment becomes easier. Each time you continue, recovery speeds up. Resilience compounds. You train your nervous system to trust recovery, to expect rebound, to remain calm when disruption appears. This training reduces fear. Fear amplifies collapse. Confidence dampens it. Confidence does not come from perfect outcomes. It comes from knowing you can recover. Resilience also reframes mistakes. Mistakes become part of the process instead of threats to identity. You stop hiding errors, you correct them. Correction builds competence. There is relief in this mindset. You are no longer afraid of falling because you trust your ability to rise. This trust changes risk tolerance. You attempt more, you stretch further, you lead more boldly. Fear of failure limits leadership. Resilience dissolves that fear. Leadership requires exposure. Exposure invites error. Error demands resilience. This cycle is unavoidable. Resilience allows you to stay in the cycle without self-destruction. You may notice emotional resistance here, old patterns that want to dramatize setbacks, that want to pause indefinitely, that want to escape responsibility. These patterns are familiar. They do not disappear overnight. Awareness weakens them. When resistance appears, return to the commands. Stand again, adjust, continue, say them internally. Let them guide action. Standing again restores posture. Adjustment restores strategy. Continuation restores momentum. Momentum does not require speed. It requires direction maintained over time. Resilience also changes how you view others. You become less judgmental. You understand struggle without indulging it. You support without indulging it. You support without enabling collapse. This maturity deepens leadership. People trust leaders who recover well, leaders who do not panic, leaders who do not blame, leaders who rebuild visibly and calmly. This trust increases influence. Resilience also strengthens identity. You stop defining yourself by peaks. You define yourself by recovery. This identity is stable. Peaks fluctuate. Recovery repeats. Repeated recovery creates durability. Durability outlasts talent. There will be moments when resilience feels lonely, when others give up, when others step back, when you continue alone. This is temporary. Resilience attracts resilience over time. Do not rush to explain your persistence. Let behavior speak. Resilience also requires self-compassion, not indulgence. Compassion allows correction without shame. Shame delays recovery. Compassion accelerates it. You can acknowledge disappointment without collapsing into it. You can feel frustration without letting it define you. Emotional command supports resilience. Feel the disappointment. Name it, lead it, then rebuild. This integration matters. Resilience without emotional awareness becomes rigidity. Emotional awareness without resilience becomes fragility. You are building both. This balance makes you formidable. As you practice resilience, you will notice a shift in how setbacks feel. They still matter, but they no longer threaten your sense of self. They become events, not verdicts. This distinction is powerful. Events pass, verdicts linger. You refuse to deliver verdicts against yourself. Resilience also sharpens long-term thinking. You stop reacting to short-term fluctuations. You maintain perspective. You remember direction. This perspective steadies action. Stand again. Adjust. Continue. Let the repetition sink in. These words are not motivational slogans. They are instructions. Simple, direct, effective. Resilience is not loud. It is quiet consistency. It is waking up and returning to alignment. It is choosing to act even when emotion resists. It is rebuilding structure when it breaks. This daily rebuilding is invisible to most people, but it compounds internally. Over time, you become known as someone who does not disappear, someone who does not collapse, someone who remains present under strain. This reputation is earned, not claimed. You will face moments where giving up feels tempting, not because you cannot continue, but because stopping feels easier. Ease is temporary. Alignment is lasting. Choose alignment. Resilience also teaches humility. You accept that setbacks happen. You do not dramatize your role. You do not inflate ego when things go well. You remain grounded. Grounded leaders endure. As this chapter deepens, feel the emotional grounding settle. Your breath steadies, your posture aligns, your mind clears. This is resilience embodied. You are not rushing forward blindly. You are rebuilding deliberately. The relief here comes from trust. Trust that you can handle what comes next. Not because it will be easy, because you will respond well. This trust changes everything. You stop fearing challenge. You start respecting it. You stop avoiding difficulty. You approach it with preparation. Resilience prepares you for longevity. Leadership is not a sprint. It is a sustained presence. Resilience sustains presence. This is why strength is rebuilt daily, not stored, not saved. Rebuilt. Each day offers a choice. Drift or align. Collapse or recover. Quit or continue. You choose. Stand again. Adjust. Continue. As this chapter closes, feel the solidity beneath you, not perfection. Stability, not certainty. Readiness. You are no longer fragile. You are adaptive. The next phase will require sustained leadership over time. Not just moments of intensity. Lifestyle leadership. Consistency when novelty fades. Resilience makes that possible. Carry this skill forward. Protect it. Practice it daily. You are not defined by what knocks you down. You are defined by how you rise. And you rise again, every time, by how you rise. And you rise again, every time. Chapter 11. Living in command is no longer something you reach for. It is something you live inside. What once required effort now feels natural. What once demanded focus now feels familiar. This is the shift from practice to standard, from intentional effort to embodied leadership. Command has become a lifestyle. You no longer ask yourself who should lead. You already are. You do not search for control. You move with alignment. You do not wait for stability. You create it through consistency. Living in command means your inner world sets the tone for your outer world. Your thoughts no longer run unchecked. Your emotions no longer dictate behavior. Your actions no longer depend on mood. They follow standard. This standard was built deliberately. Awareness taught you to pause. Discipline taught you to show up. Emotional command taught you to lead feeling. Silence taught you restraint. Pressure taught you endurance. Alignment taught you efficiency. Resilience taught you recovery. Now these skills are no longer separate. They move together. This integration changes everything. You wake up differently, not dramatically, steadily. There is less negotiation, less friction, less internal debate. You know how the day begins. You know what matters. You know how you respond when things go wrong. Command removes hesitation. You do not rush, but you do not stall. You act when action aligns. You rest when rest restores. Both are intentional. Living in command does not mean intensity all the time. It means appropriateness. You match energy to purpose. You conserve where possible. You apply force where necessary. This is maturity. Command as a lifestyle simplifies life. Not by removing challenge, but by removing confusion. Confusion drains energy. Clarity concentrates it. You no longer try to manage everything. You manage yourself. That is enough. Self-management creates reliability. Reliability builds trust. Trust expands influence. This influence is not forced. It emerges. Others notice how you move, how you respond, how you remain steady. They may not name it, but they feel it. You carry certainty, not arrogance, certainty rooted in alignment. Living in command also means living with consequence. You no longer hide from outcomes, you own them. Ownership sharpens judgment. It improves decision-making. You stop blaming conditions. You start adjusting behavior. This responsibility is empowering. It returns agency to you. You do not feel trapped by circumstances. You navigate them. You do not feel overwhelmed by demands. You prioritize them. Command changes how you experience pressure. Pressure becomes familiar territory. Not comfortable, familiar. You know how to breathe inside it, how to slow your response, how to choose your action. This familiarity reduces fear. Fear thrives on unpredictability. Command introduces structure. Living in command also changes your relationship with time. You stop rushing through moments. You stop procrastinating important actions. You respect time by using it deliberately. Time becomes an ally. You schedule what matters. You protect focus. You say no without guilt. You say yes with commitment. These are not dramatic behaviors. They are consistent ones. Consistency is the quiet engine of success. This chapter is the third transformation peak. Not explosive, sustained. Intensity that does not spike and crash. Intensity that does not spike and crash. Intensity that holds. You feel it now. The steadiness. The grounded presence, the sense that you are no longer trying to become something. You are becoming through living. This is identity confirmation. You no longer ask if you are capable. Capability is proven daily. You no longer wonder if you belong. You belong because you show up. This confidence is calm. It does not need validation. It does not require comparison. Comparison fades when identity is clear. Living in command also refines ambition. Ambition becomes focused. You stop chasing scattered goals. You commit to direction. Direction reduces anxiety. You know where you are going, not every step, but the path. When obstacles appear, you adjust. You do not collapse. You do not dramatize. You respond. Response replaces reaction permanently. This does not mean you are emotionless. You feel fully. But feeling no longer destabilizes you. Emotion informs. It does not command. Command remains yours. You will notice fewer extremes, fewer emotional swings, fewer internal conflicts. This is not dullness. It is balance. Balance allows endurance. Leadership that lasts requires endurance. Living in command also reshapes discipline. Discipline is no longer effortful. It is expected. You do not debate whether to follow through. You follow through because that is your standard. Standards simplify behavior. You may still feel resistance sometimes. That is human. But resistance no longer wins by default. Awareness catches it. Identity overrides it. This is freedom. Freedom is not the absence of structure. It is the presence of alignment. Living in command frees mental space. You think more clearly. You decide more cleanly. You recover faster. This clarity improves creativity. When noise fades, ideas sharpen. Solutions appear. You see connections others miss. Command enhances intelligence. You also become more patient with others, not indulgent. Patient. You understand process. You understand growth. You do not expect instant mastery. This patience improves leadership. People feel safe around steady leaders. Safety encourages honesty. Honesty improves outcomes. Living in command also strengthens boundaries. You know what you tolerate. You know what you do not. You enforce boundaries calmly, without anger, without explanation. Boundaries protect energy. Protected energy sustains leadership. You no longer overcommit. You choose commitments carefully. You honor them fully. This reliability becomes part of your identity. You begin to trust yourself deeply. Trust removes anxiety, drains energy. Trust builds momentum. Momentum now flows steadily, not in bursts. Sustained. This is how long-term success is built. Quietly, daily, consistently. Living in command also reframes success. Success is no longer a distant destination. It is alignment lived daily. Results will come. They always do. But results are no longer the sole measure. Alignment is. This reduces pressure. Pressure without alignment causes burnout. Pressure with alignment creates growth. You are now capable of carrying more responsibility because you carry it efficiently. Efficiency matters. You do not waste energy on unnecessary conflict. You do not waste focus on distraction. You do not waste emotion on drama. This conservation allows expansion. Expansion may come as greater challenge, greater visibility, greater expectation. You are ready. You have built the internal structure to sustain it. Living in command also changes how you speak to yourself. The internal voice is steadier, more directive, less critical, more instructive. Self-talk becomes leadership. You correct yourself without condemnation. You encourage without indulgence. This balance supports resilience. You also notice that you no longer need constant reassurance. Silence does not bother you. Waiting does not unsettle you. Uncertainty does not paralyze you. These are signs of maturity. Living in command does not make life predictable. It makes you adaptable. Adaptability is the true advantage. Markets change, relationships change, circumstances change. Command allows you to adjust without losing yourself. You remain anchored. This anchoring creates calm presence. Calm presence influences environments. Rooms change when you enter. Or Sister Bly's, decisions sharpen. Not because you force it, because you embody command. This embodiment is the culmination of everything you have practiced. This is why command must become a lifestyle. Temporary command fades. Lived command fades. Lived command endures. There will still be days of fatigue, days of doubt, days of challenge. Living in command does not erase them. It gives you a way through them. You stand again. You adjust. You continue. Automatically. This automatic resilience is the mark of integration. You are no longer consciously applying techniques. You are living principles. Principles guide behavior effortlessly. This is the peak of this journey. Sustained intensity. Identity confirmed. Say the affirmation slowly. Let it resonate. I am becoming the person who wins. Winning here does not mean defeating others. It means outlasting distraction, outgrowing limitation, out-aligning resistance. Winning means consistency under pressure, recovery after failure, clarity in uncertainty. Winning means living in command. You may feel a deep sense of calm pride here, not celebration. Recognition that you have changed, not dramatically, fundamentally. This change will continue beyond this chapter, beyond this book. It will shape decisions you have not yet faced. That is the power of lifestyle leadership. Living in command also brings responsibility to maintain it. Maintenance is not effort, it is attention. You notice when alignment slips. You correct early. Early correction prevents collapse. You do not wait for crisis to realign. You adjust daily. This daily adjustment is subtle, often invisible, but it compounds. Compounding creates inevitability. Success becomes less about luck and more about process. Process you control. You may look back at earlier versions of yourself and feel distance, not judgment. Distance, that is growth. You are no longer driven by urgency, but guided by standard. You do not chase motivation, you act regardless. You do not fear pressure, you use it. You do not avoid silence, you trust it. You do not wrestle outcomes, you steer direction. This is command embodied. As this chapter settles, allow yourself to feel the integration, the calm certainty, the quiet strength. You are no longer preparing, you are living. The final chapter will ask you to look forward, to define what this command means for your future, for the standard you will set, for the life you will shape. For now, stay here, breathe, feel the steadiness. This is not a phase. This is who you are becoming. And you are not turning back. Chapter 12. The standard you set. Every life is shaped by a line, not a loud line, not a public one. A quiet line drawn internally that defines what is acceptable and what is not. Most people never draw it consciously. They drift, they negotiate, they lower expectations when pressure rises. But you are no longer most people. You have come too far for that. You have built awareness. discipline, emotional command, silence, resilience, leadership. Now there is only one thing left to establish: permanence. This chapter is not about reaching higher once. It is about deciding where you will never fall below again, because standards do not just influence behavior. Standards shape destiny. This is the line. A standard is not a goal. Goals can be adjusted. Standards are lived. A goal says, "I will try." A standard says, "This is how I operate." When a standard is set, excuses lose authority. Mood loses leverage. Circumstances lose control. Standards simplify life. They remove negotiation. They replace emotional debate with identity-driven action. When your standard is clear, decisions become automatic. You do not ask if you should show up. You do not wonder if you should recover. You do not debate alignment. You act. The standard you set determines the level you live at. Most people think standards are external: job requirements, social expectations, cultural rules, but the most powerful standards are private. The ones you hold when no one is watching, the ones you enforce without praise. Those standards shape character. Character shapes outcomes. You have learned command. Now command must be protected by standard. Command without standard fades. Standard without command stagnates. Together, they create direction that lasts. This is where backward movement ends. You do not cross backward. Backward movement is subtle. It does not announce itself. It begins with small compromises. Skipped routines, lowered expectations, tolerated misalignment. Backward movement rarely feels dramatic. It feels reasonable. That is why it is dangerous. Standards interrupt this slide. A standard says this behavior is no longer an option. Not because you are punishing yourself, and because you are punishing yourself because you respect the direction you are moving in. You do not cross backward. This does not mean perfection. It means correction. When you slip, you return immediately. You do not linger in old patterns. You do not justify regression. You realign. Speed of realignment defines leadership. Standards also create safety. They reduce anxiety, thrives in ambiguity. Standards remove ambiguity. You know what you do. You know what you do not do. This certainty calms the system. Calm supports consistency. Consistency builds trust. Trust builds authority. Authority reinforces standard. This loop sustains itself. You may wonder how to maintain standards over time. The answer is not intensity. Intensity burns out. The answer is attention. You pay attention to alignment daily. You notice when something drifts. You adjust early. Early adjustment is leadership. Standards must be specific, not vague ideals, clear behaviors, clear responses, clear commitments. When standards are vague, enforcement weakens. When standards are clear, enforcement is natural. You decide what time means to you, what focus means to you, what recovery means to you, what recovery means to you, what respect means to you. These definitions matter. Undefined standards collapse under pressure. Defined standards hold. As you set standards, you may feel a sense of gravity, responsibility, weight. That weight is not burden, it is authorship. You are writing the rules of your life deliberately. This is power used wisely. Standards also protect identity. Identity is fragile without boundaries. Boundaries preserve identity. Standards are boundaries applied consistently. Without standards, identity becomes performance. With standards, identity becomes structure. Structure endures. You will encounter moments that test your standard: fatigue, temptation, frustration, convenience. These moments are not interruptions. They are exams. Exams reveal whether the standard is real. Do not fear these tests. Welcome them. They strengthen clarity. This is the line. Draw it now, not emotionally, intentionally. Decide what you tolerate no longer. Decide what you commit to regardless of mood. Decide how you respond under pressure. Decide how you recover after failure. These decisions become standard. You do not need to announce them. You need to live them. Living standards quietly builds internal authority. Others sense it. They feel that you are not easily moved, that you are not negotiable with yourself. This self-respect commands respect externally. Standards also eliminate comparison. When your standard is clear, others' behavior becomes irrelevant. You stop measuring yourself against external performance. You measure against alignment. Alignment becomes your metric. This metric is stable. Standards create long-term advantage. While others fluctuate, you remain consistent. While others negotiate with difficulty, you move through it. While others drift, you steer. Over time, this consistency compounds beyond talent, beyond luck, beyond circumstance. Destiny responds to standard. You may think destiny is abstract. It is not. Destiny is the accumulation of daily choices shaped by standards. Lower standard, lower trajectory, higher standard, higher trajectory. This is not about superiority. It is about direction. You lead forward. Leading forward means you do not anchor identity to the past. Past success does not excuse present laziness. Past failure does not justify present fear. The past informs, it does not define. Leading forward means you keep standards current. You adjust expectations upward as capacity grows. You do not remain loyal to outdated versions of yourself. Growth demands recalibration. Standards are not static. They evolve with identity. As you become more capable, standards rise naturally. You do not cling to comfort zones. You expand them. This expansion is intentional. You lead forward. Leadership forward also means modeling behavior. You expect. You do not demand discipline. You do not practice. You do not expect resilience. You do not demonstrate. You do not ask for integrity. You do not embody. Embodiment is leadership. This embodiment creates credibility without effort. People trust what they see lived consistently. As you live by standard, you will notice less emotional turbulence. Emotional turbulence often comes from misalignment. When behavior matches values, internal conflict reduces. Peace follows alignment. Peace is not absence of challenge, it is absence of self-betrayal. Standards prevent self-betrayal. You may still feel desire to relax standards occasionally, to negotiate, to drift. This desire is human, but desire does not override standard. Desire informs, standard decides. This distinction matters. Standards free you from constant decision fatigue. You no longer ask, should I do this? You already know. This frees mental energy for creativity and leadership. Leadership requires mental space. Standards create that space. You will also notice that time feels different. You respect it more. You waste it less. You understand its role in compounding. Standards protect time from trivial use. Protected time builds skill. Skill builds confidence. Confidence sustains leadership. The standard you set also influences who stays in your life, not through rejection, through resonance. Those aligned remain, those misaligned drift. This is not cruelty. It is coherence. Coherence creates strength. You do not need to convince others of your standard. Live it. Those who belong will adjust. Those who do not will move away. Leadership is not popularity. It is clarity. Standards clarify relationships. They remove ambiguity. People know where you stand. They know what you accept. They know what you do not. This predictability builds respect. Respect stabilizes influence. As this chapter unfolds, feel the weight of permanence settle. Not heavy, solid. This is not a temporary mindset. It is a decision about how you live. You are no longer experimenting. You are establishing. Establishing requires courage. Courage to disappoint. Courage to say no. Courage to maintain alignment when it would be easier to drift. Courage is not loud. It is consistent. You have built consistency. Now you protect it. This is the line. You do not cross backward. Say it internally. Let it anchor. You do not cross backward. Backward is familiar. Forward is unknown. Standards choose forward despite uncertainty. You lead forward. Leading forward also means preparing for future versions of challenge. Greater responsibility, greater complexity, greater demand. Your standards must be strong enough to carry that. Weak standards collapse under expansion. Strong standards scale. This is why standards must be internal, not situational. Situational standards shift with context. Internal standards hold across contexts. Internal standards define you everywhere, at work, alone, under pressure, in rest, in silence. This integrity creates wholeness. Wholeness reduces fragmentation. Fragmentation drains energy. Standards unify. As you unify internally, leadership becomes effortless externally. You may still feel moments of doubt. Doubt does not disappear. It loses authority. Standards override doubt. Doubt asks questions. Standards answer with action. You may still feel fear. Fear informs risk. Standards choose response. Fear loses dominance. This is maturity. Standards also redefine success. Success becomes adherence to standard, not outcome alone. Outcomes fluctuate. Standards endure. This redefinition reduces anxiety. You can succeed daily regardless of result. Daily success builds momentum. Momentum builds destiny. You are now operating at the level most people never reach, not because you are better, because you are deliberate. Leverage multiplies effort. Effort applied consistently with leverage becomes inevitable. Inevitability is the result of standard maintained over time. As this final chapter settles, feel the sense of closure and opening simultaneously. Closure of old patterns, opening of long-term direction. This is not the end of effort, it is the end of drift. This is not the end of challenge, it is the end of confusion. This is not the end of growth, it is the beginning of sustained expansion. This is the line. You do not cross backward, you lead forward. Say it again. This is the line. You do not cross backward, you lead forward. Say it again. This is the line. You do not cross backward, you lead forward. Let the repetition anchor deeply. These are not words, they are commitments. You will carry them into decisions yet to come, into pressure yet to arrive, into success yet to be achieved. They will guide you when emotion is loud, when distraction calls, when comfort tempts. Standards will speak, you will listen, you will act. Leadership is now embodied, not practiced, not performed, lived. Your life will reflect this standard in subtle ways, in tone, in pace, in consistency, in presence. Others may not know when the shift happened. You do. You set the standard, and standards shape destiny. This journey has brought you here deliberately. Each chapter built something structural. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was accidental. Now you move forward with command integrated, leadership internalized, resilience practiced, standards set. There is no dramatic ending required. This is not an ending. It is a foundation. From here, everything you build will stand higher because the ground is solid. Hold the line. Lead forward. This is your standard, and you live by it. You have traveled from reaction to command, from impulse to intention, from drifting to deliberate movement. What once controlled you no longer holds authority. You have learned to pause, to decide, to act with clarity. You no longer live at the mercy of emotion, noise, or circumstance. You stand grounded in awareness, discipline, resilience, and self-leadership. This journey was never about becoming someone else. It was about removing what was never truly you, the doubt, the hesitation, the need for permission. What remains is alignment, calm strength, direction that does not waver when pressure rises. You feel it now, the steadiness, the certainty, the quiet confidence of someone who leads from within. You no longer react, you command. Command does not shout, it does not rush, it does not seek approval. Command moves deliberately, it listens, it waits, it acts. You built this capacity layer by layer. Awareness sharpened you, discipline stabilized you, emotional command centered you, silence protected you, Pressure refined you, resilience carried you forward, standards anchored everything. This is who you are now. Feel the relief that comes with alignment, the release of internal conflict, the calm that replaces chaos. You are no longer negotiating with yourself. You are no longer pulled in opposing directions. You know how you move. You know what you tolerate. This is your call to action. Live this command daily. Protect your standards. Adjust without collapsing. Continue without dramatizing. Lead yourself in small moments because small moments shape destiny. Choose alignment when comfort tempts. Choose clarity when emotion rises. Choose consistency when motivation fades. Carry this forward into your work, your relationships, your decisions, your future. Let command guide your pace and presence. Let leadership be how you live. Say it now, with certainty, with authority. I decide, I rise, I lead. I decide, I rise, I lead.
You made it to the end. That already says something about you. Most people stop early. You stayed. If this audiobook challenged you, if it sharpened your focus, if it reminded you of who you're becoming, then don't let this be a one-time moment. This channel exists for people who choose growth, discipline over comfort, clarity over noise, progress over excuses. If you want more audiobooks like this, more mindset training, more leadership, more inner strength, subscribe, like this video so it reaches the people who need it, and share it with someone who's ready to rise but hasn't found the words yet. Stay consistent, protect your mind, and keep moving forward. This is only the beginning.